Well, hi everybody. Welcome again to part two of Other Actuaries in Ghana with Albert Adaare. So we spoke about
No.
why you like actuarial science in the others, but there was a top question about why he think or why he thought it was good for sales agents to sell pure life insurance to single people who have no husband or wife or kids. So kindly speak to it briefly, then we move into the part two of other actuaries in Ghana.
No, so okay, when it comes to insurance products are tailored to various needs of individuals. If you are young and you feel like you're not going to die soon, which is a wrong assumption, though most of us make, because as you know, death doesn't look at any age. You could, in terms of the insurance, there are different types of insurance policies you could take. You could take an endowment plan, which will pay should something happen to you. Most endowment plans on the Ghanaian markets will cover critical illness, disability, death, and should you survive the period or the term, will pay out a benefit. So in case you do not want a whole life policy because you feel maybe that is not your portion anytime soon, why not get an endowment policy?
Okay. So I mean, with regards to that, many people feel like what benefits do somebody get from purchasing a life insurance? Like, is there benefit to self?
Well, there is knowing the comfort that when you're not there, at least there is money that should take care of things. Your family should help them. I mean, it doesn't replace you, but hey, there's no money that's bad. Money. Okay, well, some money is bad, but
Okay. I think that
you
that
help ease your comfort by taking care of expenses.
okay. So thank you for letting people know, and then they shouldn't come for actuaries when they start selling life insurance policies to them with the notion that what do I get? Why should I buy something that other people benefit when I pass on? And that's an important thing to note, that you do not burden your family with funeral expenses. You
Yeah.
should go to be with the Lord or wherever you believe he can be. But I believe be with the Lord. Amen. So with regard to people who might not want to travel outside or might not have the opportunity, some want to travel outside to further their actual education, but others who like to be home locally. Probably they have strong ties, that they have a good and healthy relationship going on that is not worth sacrificing for career and all that. So with respect to certain people like as such, what do you think would be the way for them to get to being credentialed or becoming like well qualified actually? What would be the path that they can follow, things they need to know for them to be successful locally? Oh God, I almost said locally made actuaries. Please, I'm sorry, I take that part out. What I mean to say is to be an actuary, because most students know actuaries who have studied abroad came back home to make impact, but they don't really have a lot of people like you. I only know you because I think even the CEOs you are mentioning, they studied abroad. So there's some upper
Yeah.
class, right? But for locally made, I don't think we have a number of that. So with respect to that, what do you think, or how should someone in Ghana prepare for an actuarial career if they don't want to travel outside the US or Canada or somewhere else?
Okay. Interesting question. If you want to stay in Ghana, um, one thing I'll tell you about the actual journey is that you actually have to start thinking like an actuary before you become an actuary. And what I mean by this is that you'd have to be intentional about your journey. You would have to consider all the potential risks. I'm speaking as an actuary, consider the financial implications of the journey you want to take. You'd have to consider the social implications because you would not be there for much what there's a events or family gathering, especially because you want to make sure that you have enough time to devote to your study. So you have to be intentional about it. As much as possible, try and plan out your journey. Try and plan, even timelines. It's very important. One thing I keep telling people about timelines is that your timelines must not be so strict as in, even when you're studying for an exam and you're not ready for the exam, you still want to take the exam because it's on your timeline. No, if you're studying, you plan to study for an exam, and let's say something comes up, you have to move jobs. Yeah, moving from one job to a new one, you would have to adapt to that job, and because of that, you're not able to prepare for your journey. That's okay. Make sure you study, and when you're ready, you take your paper. So you would have to be intentional about these, especially the financial bit, because the actual exams get more expensive as you the higher you go, it gets more expensive. And these are exams that you have to make sure that when you register for, you are financially able to ensure that you pay for the exams. So plan your journey and don't get discouraged from failures. I started my journey with a failure. Even with that, if I still take that, the fact that I started learning in July, I was still able to learn and finish the actual journey just a little bit over 3 years. So failure doesn't mean the end of it. You shouldn't give up. But in order to ensure that failure does not cost you as much as possible, because remember, this is quite a financial sacrifice you are making to make sure you plan out your journey and you are intentional about your journey.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And most importantly, being intentional about your journey and not allowing the failures stop you. And I think that brings me back to the story of the LinkedIn guy that I mentioned that wanted to give up on the whole actuarial science career
Yeah.
because he had failed just one exam. And I was like, I wish I could show him my transcripts that he could sit down. I give him some time with a drink to count the number of failures before he passes. For him to for him to be encouraged that
Yeah.
challenges.
I,
Yeah.
I remember my first exam. After I wrote and I was so eager for the result. Then you notice SOA smell and we announced you did not meet. I was like, oh no,
The
oh
minimum
no.
requirement.
But right, yeah, right after I spoke with my friend who said that hey, at that point in time, and which brings me to the importance of mentorship. At that point in time, I had a friend who had taken papers, and he says, "Hey, you study on the papers on your own. You try to use what I do is that I use the syllabus and I try to study without having any correct actual examination tool." So he sat with that and said, "You need to spend enough time practicing." So that was what helped me. So most of my exams, I end up giving allocated at least 2 months for practice. So he sat me down and said, "Hey, at least the next window after FM, you have 2 months to the next window. Use these 2 months just studying." And that was what helped me. So yeah, I started with a failure, but hey, at the end of the day, no one looks at the scores of your exams to say I grade A actually. Yeah, I agree. No, yeah, either you're an associate or you're a fellow.
A pass is a pass. A six or
I
a
passed as well. A 9 or a 10, yeah.
oh, but have you scored a 10 before?
No, I got 4 9s, but I never got a 10. I was actually surprised. But with FM and P, I think is it possible to score a 10?
I should think so. I think I know one person.
Because
I think one person. Okay, I don't know. I don't think I know one person. But I think I don't know.
because the pass mark is 71%, and a 10 would be 1.471. I think it's not possible. Anyway, let's find out.
Okay,
But I scored 4 9s.
10 before. I should think so. I think I've.
I know for farm, SRM, PA, then 10s are possible. But, well, I never got a 10, unfortunately.
Mm. But I think a 4 9s is impressive. I mean, so far I have just 1 9, which was FM so far.
No.
See, I try a 10, but I don't think it's inside me. If I don't, it's not inside me. I don't think
Pass is a pass.
a pass is nothing. Exactly. And I think I wanted to say something. I should have written it down, but it just came. But with regards to that, I think we'll have to talk again about how many actuaries you think are currently in Ghana, both Ghanaians. When I say locally made, you guys should understand me. I don't mean any harm by saying locally made actuaries. What I mean by that is people who live in Ghana and got credentialed in Ghana with no outside study abroad effect. Is that kind of
Honestly, I think I'm the only person.
okay? So
Yeah,
this is
live
what
in
we
Ghana,
like the
studying
video
in
and we
Ghana.
clap for our
I
we
think
clap for
I'm
our
the only
guests.
person because what I'll say is that most people start the exams, and as they are getting nearer to completion, they travel. So I think I might be the only person who qualified, like started the journey and is still in Ghana without any outside experience.
But why didn't you ever consider studying abroad? Why?
I did at first, but once I started passing papers, I was like, hey, you're passing papers, what's the use?
Mhm. So, and back then again, how many total actuaries do we have in Ghana? Total actuaries.
So there are about a total of 10 actuaries in Ghana, credentialed, so
Yeah.
important, credentialed actuaries. I'll put the fellows at around four fellows and the rest are associates.
Okay. And I think you mentioned before that there are five, hey, did you say five? Okay, five non-CEO credentialed actuaries.
No, they are in terms of those who there will be four. All the fellows, all the fellows occupy C-suite positions. So two CEOs, one CFO, and one executive director who is in the banking sector too.
Okay.
Right. Nigel Nunu was in Ghana too for a while. He worked with Enterprise. I think he worked with Prudential Finance. So he worked with Enterprise as a chief operating officer. But he's also left the country.
Okay. So in total, how many Ghanaian actuaries we have, whether they studied abroad or they not study abroad? How many Ghanaian actuaries out of the 10
Are working in
in Ghana?
insurance companies or in out of
No,
the 10 are working in insurance companies.
no,
I'll put a
out
number
of the
of two.
10, how many
Okay.
are, oh, okay, because you're going to take out the CEOs, right? And then
Yeah, and the consultants.
the
And Richard is the director of the Ghana Insurance College. So then you have only basically just two credentialed actuaries.
who are
As
active
I said, we do
already.
have, yeah, actively working actuarial roles. As I said, we do have quite a number of people with experience in roles because what happened was that they ended up, some may have started papers, some may not have started papers. I know, in fact, I know one who he's been left with one paper and he has just decided he didn't complete the paper. But then he says he will take it soon. He will take it to become credentialed. So, yeah.
Just to make it clear, the entire Ghana, we have two actively credentialed actuaries working.
Yeah, in actuarials and insurance company.
Okay, and we have about eight credentialed actuaries, but not both working and not working.
About yeah, about 10.
About 10 credentialed actuaries working, Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Okay,
We do have people coming in to help with various projects for either the industry or company-wide projects. Or if it's like here comes in from time to time to help with. Right now, he's currently helping us develop a mortality table for the industry. We have others who come to take various projects. But if you say those of us based in Ghana, the number will be around 10.
Hmm, okay. Comments reserved on that one, but I'm praying and hoping that there is more. And let's say if there's a need to also outsource, you can come through me so that I direct you to the actuarial hand.
Oh,
to help
Yeah,
if
we
needed.
do have a good number of consultants we use outside Ghana. South Africa helps us a lot when it comes to consultants because you know about that they have over 2,000 actually.
So adding the the consultants out of the 10 to the actively working to, what's the total number?
Yeah, no, that's the 10.
That's
If
a
you
10.
add the consultants are
So
part of the
when you
10.
take out the
They
C,
say, yeah, so you take out the seats, you take out the consultants, you take out Richard, the director of the GIC. There's a professor who is credentialed. Then that is it.
also
So we make out the
the
10.
fees consultants, like they're all under that.
Yeah, they're all part of the 10.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's gonna be better. Two for
Oh, and next year I think it will be way more. Yeah, people taking the exam. So hopefully next year
okay.
it will be way.
Okay. And with regards to the exam support, right, for people outside, I think one of the main motivations is that like they are sponsored. Sometimes we have like different organizations like the IVA, which is the International Association of Black Actuaries, where they help students get maybe a support with FM or support with P and the others, right? So with regards to that, what is the exam support system like for people um in different insurance companies or incoming actuaries, even those who are not even credentialed? Of course, credentialed people might not need support. So those who are now coming, what's the exam support system like? Are the exam being paid for? Are there other organizations helping people take the exams?
Yeah, there are some organizations who help people take the exams. A few of them, like as I mentioned earlier, the SOA, and we also the people in qualified actuaries in the diaspora. They do help sometimes, and they send donations to people to help, especially the students. They pay for exams, FMFP. Also, when it comes to company support, a few companies do sponsor actual exams, but when they sponsor, you'll be required to work with them a little bit long.
How
You
long?
know that's their way of 2 to 5 years, depending on the company.
One exam.
But for one exam, yes. For one exam. They want to protect their investment. They don't want to train you. Given a few number of actuaries, they don't want to train you. Then you say, hey, I'm leaving, but I didn't know. So that is what it takes. A few companies do sponsor. I think the main issue is that the few of us in Ghana have to show the value of having an actuary.
Mhm.
If we're able to show the value of having an actuary, then we'll get more companies buying into the idea to support their actuarial staff and personnel.
Okay. So I mean, it's good that you also mentioned the Ghanaian diaspora team sponsoring or helping the students take the
Yeah,
and the,
they want to
you see
sponsor,
the
they don't want to
advantage.
come and help.
What do you think? What do you think?
People want to sponsor, they don't want to come back. Continue.
But they are helping. It's help for them.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh no, that's good. They are helping. That's very good.
They help for all you know. The next move might be to move some down. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, even if you guys are retired, I mean, we could still use the experience in the industry. So
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think aside that, I know a number of mentees who have utilized the Ghanaian diaspora resources. So like I think if you are in schools, like I have to also add that you're in school like KNUST, Legon, UCC. I think it's just the if and you're taking the actuarial science, then you should be active in the club. Like I think you have to take some quizzes, you pass, then you are sponsored. So please keep putting your best if you really want to be sponsored and pass the exam and get a bit closer to being credentialed. Then also, I think I will add that ATEX manual also provides student ambassadorial services where students become ambassadors of ATEX and they get free exam material, exam access to their study guide. Let's say that to help you. And I know a number of people who have used it. I think even if you pass maybe P, then you are promoted to the next, you get more people to use that text and you get more study material. So this is like a sales skill you can utilize. And don't say, oh, there's no need, there's no help or support with regards to at least FMMP. I can just speak for that and
Yeah,
maybe
FMP.
and the ones. Please do your due diligence and find out the available resources. If you know of other resources also you are enjoying, comment them in the comment section. Subscribe, like, and be a part of that. And yes, I know many people know that yes, by the grace of God, I'm friends with coaching actuaries. So my love of coaching actuaries will always be there, but I need to applaud Artex for the great work that they have done also with regards to helping Ghanaian students get free study material.
They are doing a great job.
Really great job. So thank you, Artex. But coming back to you, did you ever use any of those materials, coaching actuaries or Artex?
Yes, so for my first exams, I used coaching actually. In fact, FMP, SRM, FAM, Advanced Long Term Work Coaching Actuaries. But for PA and ATPA, I used Access. The reason was the recommendation to use Professor Low was it's quite it's quite
Shout
if,
out to
anytime you
Amber Sloan.
Google anytime you Google PA exam, SO exam, PA, what manual should I use? Trust me, that's the number one recommendation. So I was like, if everyone is recommending, let me try it. Because I used question actuaries was good. Online was good, but Professor Low's explanation and the way in the ATP and PA2 was very, very good. So they are both good manuals.
Yeah, I totally agree because I've actually had a personal chat with him before, and his
Okay.
understanding of the course or the exam is
Yeah.
above, and
I think that's his favorite.
he's so confident. Like he could tell. I think in the book he mentioned that he was already credentialed, but just needed to take the exam PA to see what was really going on in this new
Yeah.
exam, and he just got a 10. Like,
Both of the exams he took.
no.
ATP too, he took it. Yeah.
Oh, I actually made him assess me for my exam taking, and literally what he said is what I did exactly. And I think the grade he even gave me was close to the grade I also got in the main exam. I would say, okay, that's a personal shout out to Amber's Law for being a great exam PA, steady asset and resource to the actuarial. Thank so much. Then back to I think with regards to the resources, I think in the previous episode we mentioned that people would most companies will require that you have much experience before you get employed. Like we don't have so many entry level employments for actuarial people as it stands, but there is, but not so many, right? So I think I would
Yeah.
just add that if people are looking out for resources to look out in some form of experience, and I mentioned that I'd posted some LinkedIn LinkedIn post on AIG job simulation that you could earn a free certificate to get to know what it is like to work as an actuarial analyst in AIG American International Group and work on real projects. You pass, you hit the good mark, then you have your certificate. And most importantly, I think I also wanted to mention that it's not just with regards to AIG. When it comes to the 4H group, you have different companies. So even if you finish the AIG actuarial analyst, try and explore other areas that could help you gain some few pricing experience, few valuation experience, reserving experience that you could have as a person so that you are not disadvantaged if you want to be a locally brewed actuary in Ghana. They don't like me saying locally brewed, but yes. So maybe lastly, how should someone, since you never studied abroad and was still able to pass your exams a little above 3 years, which is still impressive, how should someone in Ghana prepare for an actuarial career if they do not want to travel outside the US or Canada or somewhere else? Probably because they have a very loyal girlfriend or boyfriend. So you can let us know on that. For someone in Ghana who is preparing for actuarial career, if they don't want to travel outside to the US or the Canada or somewhere else, how do they prepare for this great career?
Hi, Ruby.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you need to be intentional about your journey, as I said. You need
Mhm.
to be intentional about your journey. You need to plan your journey. As I said, failure is not the end of the journey. And you make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Make sure that you read and you plan also financially. Apart from putting your timelines, plan also financially. And also get a hobby. It's not always about studies. You need when you know when you keep studying, trust me, you get burned out. I did that for quite a while. And I had to incorporate sports to ensure that when you study a little bit, you go round and round. And also, it's not also easy because you are studying whilst you're working. And work won't tell you that, hey, you are a student or you're not a real student. Work says, hey, I'm paying you because I need you to do this job. So you need to be intentional and you need to plan your journey. I guess you'd make it. You'd make it. One thing I always tell myself is, so far as there is an exam which people, human beings, can pass, hey, what do they have that I don't have that I can pass that exam? So just approach your exams with the right mentality and you can pass. I think a lot of people fear the exams because they hear that, oh, it's so difficult. A lot of people are failing and are like, once someone pass, hey, trust me, I can do it. It's not I'm special or anything. But once a human being pass, we can do it. So just have the right mentality, plan your approach, and you'll be an actuary.
Okay. So thanks for sharing, but I think I have a proposal, which is I will
Okay.
come to you after for us to discuss how to create like an online, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks internship. It can be online or it can be in person, anyone that Activa decides to do for me, where we select certain actuarial. I don't want to make it like selecting the best 5 students from each university. And that there are people in the population
Yeah.
who really need it because the likelihood that someone is the best 5 students, most people know how to navigate the exams, how to pass it. Like I feel like it shouldn't always be the case. So we'll find maybe a very uniform way to select people who really need it and then get them interning with Activa so that they can receive maybe a certificate after. What do you think? Or do I have to talk to the CEO?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. But let's talk about it.
We'll talk about it behind.
I'm actually, yeah, I'm actually quite passionate. Last I we Kofi Safo team was also a qualified actuary, and I we taught a course. We took a course in University of Ghana on actuarial professionalism, and also we are quite passionate about that. The field we are trying to ensure that we could be mentors. If you hit me up on LinkedIn, it might take time, especially depending on the period. Because if it's a time that I'm doing a work, I might not
Okay. So thank you all.
or one thing is for sure, I will respond.
All right. So thank you everybody for giving us the audience to today's session, which is a part 2 of Are There Actuaries in Ghana? If you have not subscribed, this is an unfair practice. It's against our actuarial, it's not against our actuarial laws. We are honest people, so it's not against our actuarial laws, but it's a good thing as humanity, as a human to support. So kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also you can follow me on LinkedIn, Ruby Kudaya, Ruby, R-U-B-Y, Kodiah. If there are some resources that could help you in your actuarial journey, be it, for all actuaries outside the United States or Canada. And it's great having you. Like the video, share. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Give some round of applause for our our guest Albert Adaare, for an
And a
amazing.
round of applause for Ruby too.
Thank you so much, everybody. And until the next time, it's bye on our end.
Bye guys. Take care.